Look at the final graded result of this Avatar 3 trailer stills. Most attempts fail for one reason: relying on saturation. Standard saturation ruins cinematic images by adding brightness, making colors look thin and digital. The secret isn't adding light, it's adding weight. This is a Hollywood density, a subtractive process that creates depth. I have reverse engineered these log profiles from the trailer, and today I will break down my exact one node, one plugin solution using PFA Color Suite 3.5 so you can replicate it immediately. Let's start with this first white establishing shot in our DaVinci white gamma timeline. We execute the basic setup first. Output color space to Rec 709, Gamma 2.4. But here is the critical technical nuance. We create our grading node before the color space transform. Why do we need to do this? If you apply effects after the CST, you are technically grading inside a smaller container, Rec 709. By placing the node before, you are grading based on a wider DaVinci intermediate data. You want that extra headroom to push the colors without breaking the image. You have to do it in this manner. Now, we apply the PFA Color Suite plugin, then press Shift F. I love this full screen indulgence. It leverages your entire display so you can see the details. We start with the color slider first. I bump the global saturation and film processing slider just to interpret what's hiding in the image. Now we analyze the channels: red, none; green, some; magenta, no. So by using this mask, but looking at blue, there is a definite presence. So I increase the blue saturation. Now let's look at cyan. Wow, the cyan is a massive here. So I'm going to push the cyan saturation further up. To confirm this, I toggle the masking system. It instantly maps the pixels, proving that what looks like one color is actually a precise separation of cyan and blue. We lock in these adjustments to establish the base separation. Now let me demonstrate the wrong way first. If I take the global saturation and push it up, look at the image, it becomes colorful. Yes, but it also becomes bright and flat. The waveform lifts up. This is the thin digital look that ruins cinematic immersions. Therefore, we need to switch to the movie density. This is the hero tool for this look. Unlike saturation, which adds light, movie density adds black to the color signal. It is a subtractive process. It isolates the color saturation and ensures it adds weight. Put simply, every color gets grounded. This creates that specific Hollywood depth. You will never be able to achieve this with standard saturation because you are fighting against the brightness. Again, our tool is so intuitive. You can turn on the mask. I want to improve the density of the cyan and maybe pull back the green a little. I'm going to adjust the blue density slider as well. I want to separate the foreground spaceship from the background. Watch as I doing the slider. The blue doesn't get more vibrant, it gets deeper. It separates from the haze. Isn't that crazy? Now look at the precision. I will turn on the built-in masking system. This reveals exactly how the software interprets specific pixel colors. Sometimes, what your eye sees as cyan, the software might read it as green or yellow. But here, you see around the spaceship, the mask shows us is distinguishing the yellow highlights from the green ambient light perfectly. We aren't just qualifying. This tool is mathematically mapping every single pixel to the color science so that we understand what DaVinci is actually interpreting these pixels. So green is the majority color in the frame. So if I wanted, you could just make it lighter and deeper. But for the avatar look, I want to pop the foreground, which is blue and cyan. I will then increase the density of the cyan and then the blue. Just these few sliders create a very great separation from the background. With all this done in just one node, you get that depth. People always ask, wow, why does the color look so thick? The answer is density. So now that the depth is established, we need to dial in the organic film characteristics. Now that we have established the look on the white shot, we need to stress test it. So I'm going to copy the grade from our white shot and apply it on totally different shot and see how robust is this color grading system used on the close-up of Niteri. This is the moment of truth for any color workflow. If you were using a standard LUT here, the image would likely fall apart because the lighting conditions are completely different. LUTs are fragile and destructive. They are fixed data points. But because we are using a one-node workflow based on mathematical density, the grade holds up instantly. However, we need to refine the global balance. For this, we open the film printer light feature introduced in the latest version 3.5. This tool allows us to manage the global color cast while protecting our shadows and skin tones, but of course you can calibrate it with the sliders. In this shot, there is a bit too much green in the ambient light. I want to reduce the green dominance and introduce a slight yellow shift to mimic that warm afternoon sun hitting Neytiri's face. So here is the color mixing theory you need to understand. The moment you reduce one channel, you naturally introduce its opposite. If I pull down the blue channel, I'm not just desaturating blue, I'm mathematically introducing yellow. Watch the image as I make this adjustment. By reducing the blue and green slightly, we warm up the entire image organically. It clears out the unnecessary tint and aligns the shot with that golden hour feel without destroying the density we built earlier. So this is a dream tool to create that color cast. Next, we move to film fade. This is how we achieve the specific milky gray shadow roll-off you see in very high-budget cinema. Digital black is often too sharp, too crushed. Film black has a texture to it. We use split toning controls here to lift the shadows of all the RGB channels while keeping the absolute black grounded. This is a crucial distinction. We aren't lifting the lift wheel, which washes out the overall image and lose all the details. We are targeting the shadow range specifically to create the milky gray shadows. I'm going to leave the shadow slider to create the texture. If you look at the waveform, you see the bottom of the graph lifting slightly, creating that soft tone in the curve. While pushing all these details, we can even split tone here, injecting a tiny amount of cyan into the shadow to contrast with the warm highlights. We're just reducing the red channel from the shadow area. So this creates color separation based on luminance, which is a hallmark of the avatar grade. Next, let's apply the same grade to the third shot of Kiri. This shot has completely different lighting. It's softer, more diffuse, yet look at the consistency. The density remains. Now look at the comparison. On the left, the original one we found in the trailer. On the right, the PFA density version. It has weight, it has impossible thick color. Talk about the before and after, the massive shift in the perceived image value is undeniable. The density separates the character from the background in a way that brightness simply can't. You can save this exact look as a preset within the plugin ecosystem, unlike a LUT, which is a baked-in file that you can't tweak. Saving this preset remembers the exact position of every single slider. When you apply it to the next scene, you can call it back to the density if it's too dark or shift the printer lights if the white balance is off. You can do all the adjustments and tweak it, every single thing. So one final technical note, normally this is where I will use the Skin Match AI to perfect the skin tones. However, the avatar, we skip this tool because the skin tone tool is actually designed to align pixels to the skin tone line on the vector scope, which is orange and yellow, but avatar is blue. So as long as we nail the blue and the cyan skin, we are good to go. So in this specific case, our density adjustments on the blue and cyan channels have already nailed the skin tone perfectly. So that is the secret to the Avatar 3 look. It isn't about adding more colors, it is about adding density, the weight to the image, using subtractive color engine and color mixing to give you the image weight. You don't need to have a complex 20-note tree to do this. I have exported this exact preset we built today, and you can download it to use in the PFA Color Suite free trial. Grab the free trial from the link in the description, apply this preset to your footage, and see how density changes your perception of quality. I'm Nash, Passion Fuels Ambition, and I'll see you in the next one.